What's up, everybody? It is September 5th, 2022, and I'm going to do a weekly forecast here to see where I believe price is going to head this week and overall um, how the week should play out. So I want to start off with the economic calendar. I don't have it pulled up here, but if you look at that, this week we're coming off of a holiday from here, Labor Day in the States. And then I believe the rest of the week we have a lot of FOMC and a few news drivers. So definitely be aware of that. I wanted to go out to a weekly time frame to forecast for the rest of the month since we just began September. So for the weekly, I want to mention this. So from this swing high to the swing low, we pushed up into a premium and eventually retraced into that fair value gap here, right? And since then, it's been a really nice decline. This fair value gap could act as some sort of, I would say, resistance. Also, the volume imbalance is something to note. That's something I'm definitely looking at. We could potentially pump up into that volume imbalance and then see lower prices. If not, if we get super aggressive, there is this bearish fair value gap sitting here. So that's definitely something to note going into the rest of the week. Depending on the lower time frames, to me, the lower time frames suggest that we'll at least go a little bit lower before we retrace back into this fair value gap, or we may not even retrace into this fair value gap. We may just close in the volume imbalance. We may not even do that. So I like that we didn't gap open. That's a nice clean start to the month. I want to go down to a daily time frame. And the reason I suggest that we probably won't retrace that high is because of the daily time frame. I don't see a reason for us to retrace possibly all the way back into this fair value gap. To me, it's kind of like a breakaway gap. The sell side is building up underneath here. We have relative equal lows. So I mean, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 days now. I believe we'll go ahead and take that out and run right into this order block here. I'm curious to see if we get any bullish reaction off of that. We could, or we might just trade right through it. And if we do that, the next target would be the sell side resting at 37.21. I would pay attention to the equilibrium of this daily wick here. Okay, so I would pay attention to this. If we break above that, I would be looking for this high to be taken, and then we would have to see maybe a return into this volume imbalance here. But I'm looking for this fair value gap to give some type of resistance for us to send price lower. Looking at the 4-hour, I have noted this fair value gap. We have the sell side resting here, which is going to be our draw on liquidity. This to me really isn't, I mean, it is an order block in a sense. I mean, maybe on a 2-hour or, yeah, the 2-hour is a little bit more clean. So this is actually from the 1-hour. Sorry, I don't want to get messy, but this is the 1-hour fair value gap. So I could see price retrace into this fair value gap. Looking at the 2-hour, which I usually don't use, but it gives you a little bit more clear picture here. This order block could act as a nice resistance to send price lower. It's actually these two up close candles here, this one and this one. If we end up aggressively trading through that, I could maybe understand why, because we have relative equal highs resting here. So for me, if I have an area of interest I want to see price trade into, so for an example, this, I'm not just going to go short automatically off of the fair value gap, because I think that there's better ways of doing it. Because you can look on lower time frames, the 5, the 2, the 1. Once price gets into this area, you can start seeing the YouTube model form, right? So to me, that would be the best case scenario, and you have a lower risk, because most times, let's just say you entered here, price could run right through this and just go right for the buy side liquidity. So you have to wait for those lower time frame signatures to signal you to get into the market, right? So that's something I would like to see for the beginning of the week. and run out the relative equal lows. I did have a on the 4-hour, this fair value gap is a PDO rated target, potentially the discount low of this fair value gap. Remember, this is the daily bullish order block, so pay attention. This entire area to me is very sensitive once we get beneath the sell side at 39.02. So that's what I'm looking at. Looking at the 30-minute, you can get even a better perspective. Ran out buy stops here, but these are, in my eyes, relative equal highs as well. This entire thing was a market maker buy model. So on Friday, we went ahead on NFP and just ran out the relative equal highs here. So anybody who was going short probably closed out their positions, and then price just dumped. But now, to me, there is some buy side liquidity resting up here. So I would much rather for this to play out. This is what I want to happen. So I'm going to wait for tomorrow's session, see if we can get into maybe the 50% equilibrium of that fair value gap. And then we have these up close candles as an order block as well. I think that's the best case scenario. I'll be doing a probably a log every day, unless I get a little busy, but expect a daily log from me every single day. I appreciate you guys' comments. Please go ahead and ask any questions, anything you want to get covered. I'll definitely make sure to make a video for you guys. And until tomorrow, good luck and good trading.